Alright, story time. Okay. A klaxon sounds from deep within the bowels of the laboratory. Thick metal shutters drop down, sealing off the room with a series of dull metal thuds. Abort the experiment! Number 6 is out of control! Everyone, get out of here now! Get out of here! The researcher's words are abruptly cut off as a massive hand materializes out of the gloom and lifts him high into the air. The researcher begins to scream. He screams and screams, the sound echoing off the walls of the laboratory until the hand squeezes down, coating the room in a deep crimson hue. The rest of his colleagues stand in silence, mouths open, unable to process what they have just seen. Then, a female scientist takes a step back and lets fly with a heartbreaking wail. But this is a terrible mistake, for the sound of her cry suddenly brings forth a monster in all of its terrible glory. Its body is a bloated corpse, its head a grinning skull. And it is massive, many times the size of a human. The head lolls from side to side as it tromps about the room on all fours, bringing to mind the wild maneuverings of some wretched, starving beast. This creature, this thing, is experimental weapon number 6, also known as Halua. No! Oh no! Please stop! Oh God, save me! Save me! I don't want to die! One by one, the maddened cries of the researchers are silenced. If number 6 understands their petitions, it pays them no heed, instead continuing its rampage of destruction and slaughter with a focus that borders on obsession. After an eternity, the screaming stops. The alarms fall silent. And only then does the creature make a sound, howling out with an unfathomable roar that echoes up and down the empty halls of the blood-soaked laboratory. It's a sound that curses those who had dared bring such evil into the world. And yet one that also seems to be pleading for help. Two sets of footsteps echo in an otherwise silent corridor on the first level of the laboratory. One set belongs to a young boy, his eyes blindfolded and his hands restrained. The other belongs to a severe man in a long white coat. The man drags the boy along by means of a long chain attached to a set of shackles on his wrists. Rubble is scattered here and there across the floor of the corridor, making the journey an exceedingly difficult one for a boy who cannot see. Excuse me. Could you please walk a bit slower, sir? I'm not used to being blindfolded and... Rather than stopping, the man only increases his pace, causing the boy to stumble in an attempt to keep up. This last humiliation proves too much, and the boy finds himself unable to arrest his fall. Without the ability to brace himself, he topples to the floor, smashing his head into a pile of debris and causing a trickle of blood to worm its way down his pale, frightened face. Agonized by the pain, the boy inadvertently opens his eyes, causing the falling drops of blood to emit a strange crackling sound before transforming into tiny white rocks. "Close your damn eyes!" roars the man. Yes, sir, stammers the boy as he slams his lids shut. He hadn't realized the blindfold had slipped off during the fall, but now he keeps his eyes squeezed shut so tightly that sparkles appear against the black of his vision. The boy is Emil, also known as Number 7. He is a magical weapon whose eyes are capable of turning to stone anything that falls under their gaze. Don't look at me, barks the man. Never look at me. I'm sorry, sir. I'm looking at the ground now, so if you just hand me the Instead of waiting for him to finish, the man extends one foot and presses Emil's face to the floor with a heavy black boot. Sir, stop! You're hurting me! I told you to keep your eyes and your mouth shut, so do it! The man knows this boy. This weapon could wipe him out with a single glance, and yet subduing him in this way gives him a sense of relief. After making certain the boy is sufficiently cowed, the man leans down, retrieves the blindfold, and knots it tightly around the boy's quivering head. Right then, on your feet, let's move. Emil staggers to his feet, trying to ignore the red liquid oozing down his face. The blood doesn't matter. The pain doesn't matter. All that matters is finishing the job they had set out for him to do. The second level of the laboratory is in even worse shape than the first. The environs are littered with rubble and rock, making the thought of a decent foothold laughable. When the man's eyes linger on a section of rubble stained a deep red, he has a sudden image of a warm, gooey brownies slathered in. He has a sudden image of warm, gooey brownies slathered in a strawberry sauce. Ew. Okay, good. His stomach lurches at the thought, but when he attempts to avert his eyes, they land on the remains of a human being rendered into what could only be described as paste. The man blinks. His mind goes strangely blank before attempting to determine exactly how many humans had to be sacrificed to create the scattered piles of flesh around him. After a moment, his thoughts simply cease altogether, as if his mind realizes that trying to put such a thing into form is folly. You can go the rest of the way on your own, says the man in a voice much weaker than he wishes it to be. I mean, what does it matter? You're not even human. You're a monster. With this, the man spins around and dashes back down the hall. A helpless Emil simply listens as the footsteps of his erstwhile captor fade into the distance. Emil finds himself alone in a room with the stench of death and blood. For a moment, he considers opening his eyes, but the thought of the horrors that await him quickly squash this plan. Instead, he stands still and listens intently. Eventually, a far-off sound reaches his ears. That's the howl I heard before. Emil resumes walking, using the sound of the distant voice to guide him, almost as if it was calling him home. By the time Emil reaches the third level, he is moving on memory as much as sound. His hands and face are covered in fresh wounds from numerous falls, but every time he thinks about giving up, his mind returns to his sister. We studied together. We ate cookies together. We cried together. We laughed together. And sometimes I was the only one who got yelled at. That's why I was never lonely. Our being together allowed me to stay strong. For Emil, his sister was all he had to live for. So holding that feeling close to his chest, He presses on, one slow step after the other. Finally, Emil finds himself drawing close to a certain experimental chamber in the deepest part of the laboratory. The howl is very close now, and as he touches the switch that controls the door, he thinks about his mission. Number 6 is the ultimate weapon. She is his sister, and he must turn her to stone. The door slowly opens, revealing the massive interior of the experimentation chamber. After a few steps, Emil removes his blindfold and slowly opens his eyes. His sister lurks before him, but she looks nothing like the girl he once knew. Instead, he sees a savage beast crawling on all fours through the shredded remains of researchers. As the thing that had been his sister stops and tilts its head in Emil's direction, he focuses his gaze on it. A series of soft, crunching sounds emerge from the creature as his magic does its terrible work. First the fingers, then the hands, arms, legs, head. What little color the beast once possessed fades to a dull, ashen gray. And yet, somehow it summons what strength remains and pulls itself towards Emil in one slow, lumbering effort at a time. Wailing, the massive monstrosity closes in. Is she worried about me? Or is she coming to kill me? Emil feels prepared to accept either outcome. After all, this was his older sister, the person he loved more than anyone else in the world. Halua, The moment Emil speaks, number 6 comes to a sudden halt. Silence descends on the chamber as the siblings stare at each other. I'm sorry, Halua, but everyone says you're too powerful. They say it's dangerous unless I seal you away. I'm so sorry. As Emil watches her body begin to turn to stone once more, number 6 simply waits in utter, perfect silence. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Aww. The moment number 6's petrification is complete, her memories flood into Emil's mind. The two of them huddling together in the cold, all alone in the world with no one to protect them. All she wanted was to save her little brother. And yet, it was that little brother who, in a sense, saved her. The moment the petrification is complete, Emil sinks to his knees. A frozen sister and a little brother racked with sin. Alone in this cold cage, the two of them weep in a single silent voice. Aww. It's just dots, by the way. It was our combined power that destroyed the Aerie. Whole existences, entire lives, even their memories. We took it all. We took everything. My sweet, gentle sister turned into a monster. And the same thing will happen to me now that I have her power. If my instincts as a weapon win out and destroy me in the process. If that power ends up hurting someone I love.
What have I done? I killed innocent people. I killed them all.
But you saved us. If it wasn't for you, we'd all be dead. We owe you.
But
It's all right. Really? Don't look back.
Damn.
We had best be off.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure there isn't something to do up here now that we... Okay, there's not. Just now that we knew Kaine's story, I wanted to make sure.
Maybe Popol has found some information about the Shadow Lord. Let's drop by the village.
Very well.
Well, and I see some of the casters that I needed. Damn it. I don't know why I can't find this item. That one. No, just a medicinal herb. I saw another one of the thingies over here. need to stop killing them with that and make sure I stab them. Let it get the 25% item increase. I'm gonna go over to the junk heap though anyways, because I want to... Oh, that's a recovery potion. That's also not what I'm looking for. Unless maybe it doesn't drop until after the second ending? Either way, I want to go back to the junk heap and see if there is anything that I can sell. I'm sorry, I can upgrade. Aww, Kitty brought a chick home with them. It makes little trips and follows me everywhere. That would be me, by the way.
What can I help you with?
Cool.
Come back.
Can I just buy like a ton of ore and then see what that lets me?
What can I help you with?
Yeah, I've got a ton of that. That's fine. Sure.
Come back.
I'm gonna quickly go to the other towns and just make sure that we're not missing any of the weapons. Well, actually no, because we'll be sent there soon anyways. And it's sunny now, so there won't be any more of the tall casters. Which sucks. that just means that I can run right back to Popola. And figures now it's cloudy again. Huh? I need it cloudy in the northern plains. Apparently I can water these again. I think next time I'm gonna pick one of each flower and then leave the rest to turn into seeds, just because I want to pick the flowers and see what they get me. Unless there's something like new that might be good. Oh, I have hiccups now. Come on. Just water the flowers, damn it. Alright, I think this is as good of a place as any to stop with this for now. I will be right back in a couple of minutes with some RimWorld, and we will continue our Tree People run. So hold tight, guys. I'll be right back.